Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Thursday, March 31st. Looking at fire activity, about a half dozen fires popped up in the last day or two, new fires in the red, recent fires in the yellow. Most of these just of the 1 to 2 acre variety, most of them concentrated in the eastern Great Basin. We are entering the dormant season where, because of the recent dry conditions, and we're still several weeks away from widespread green up, some of these smaller fires will become more numerous, and during very windy conditions, if the fuels are lined up right, not out of the question to get a 50 or 100 acre fire in some cases. Precipitation, our backup chart here, the numbers are kind of deceiving here on the left. We'll focus more on the right. You can see above normal precipitation for the eastern portions of Utah, in some cases almost 150 to 200% of normal. Some of that was in the form of snowfall. But by and large, 2/3 of the Great Basin had a drier than normal week once again. Some snowfall. You can see in the higher terrain of Utah, 6 to 12 inches where you see the enhanced yellow, basically 2 to 5 inches where you see the areas in blue. Again, mainly confined to the highest terrain, well above 7,000 feet. And that's where most of the snowpack is now. We've lost the snowpack in the lower to even middle elevation, so it's really above about 6,000 to 7,000 feet in the north, and I would say 7,000 to 8,000 feet in the south, where that snowpack still exists, mainly on northern and eastern aspects. Otherwise, larger and larger portions of the Great Basin are becoming snow cover free. Snowpack overall in the higher terrain, where we do measure and keep averages, they are about 20 to 30% below normal in most areas, so that's a pretty good drop off from where we were a couple of months ago. Looking at 100-hour fuels, very dry in the low single digits across southern areas in Nevada and the Arizona Strip and southwest Utah. We don't normally see those numbers or anything close to that until we get towards Memorial Day. 1,000-hour fuel, same thing, in the single digits in this darker gold area. So in areas, especially in the higher terrain where heavier 1,000-hour fuels are dominant, this is kind of an ominous thing to look at as we getting closer and closer to the start of fire season. On the satellite imagery, you'll see a weak trough of low pressure here with those yellow lines, that little kink, and typically east of that trough line is where you have enhanced clouds and showers across the eastern Great Basin. So there'll be some light rain and snow showers for the next couple of hours before activity shifts further east, drier northwest flow behind it. And we look through here, we see that drier northwest flow pushing in by late this afternoon, the clouds and showers being confined mainly to southern and eastern areas. And because of the passing through weather system, overall dispersion or ventilation in the white, excellent in all areas. Decent winds out of the southwest at 10 to 20, some higher gusts where you see the enhanced colors in the east. Lighter northwest wind flow to near calm as you head further west. Vertical mixing, as is typical this time of year, pretty good in most areas. On Friday, that weather system moves out. We get zonal flow, weak high pressure building in, but with high pressure, sometimes you do get somewhat less dispersion. So you see the areas in red, the air quality becomes a little bit less. A big part of that on the left is the transport winds become very light and negligible. Vertical mixing, though, still where you see the areas in the yellow, a couple of thousand feet above ground level. That high pressure weekends, we get into zonal flow, so the winds increase just a little bit. We have good sunshine, so you see the overall dispersion in the white, that area gets bigger overall. Some pretty good transport winds across the Snake River Plain up in the north, 20 to 30 miles per hour, maybe 10 to 20 across central and eastern Utah, lighter winds across Nevada, excellent overall vertical mixing again. 3-day precipitation totals, again, just across Utah, a tenth to maybe some pockets of a quarter of an inch. In some areas, it could be 1 or 2 inches of snow in the highest terrain. And then on Sunday, pieces of moisture rotating through, nothing big and organized, but again, across eastern Utah and parts of Nevada on Sunday. Excellent overall mixing. Kind of a stronger storm system, a bit more organized moisture moving into northern and central areas on Monday. Excellent overall dispersion. That system plows to the east. We have some residual moisture on Tuesday, along with somewhat cooler temperatures, cooler than normal. And then high pressure starts to build back in across California and the western Great Basin with a warm-up northwest flow. Still pretty good overall mixing in most areas. The precipitation accumulation days 4 and 5 with that next system. This is Sunday morning through Tuesday morning. Again, a tenth to pockets of a quarter of an inch, nothing too big. Pockets of a half inch across the higher terrain of Idaho, and that means they could see 4 to 8 inches of snow up above 7,000 feet or so. The longer 8 to 14 day outlook still shows a warmer than normal signal for most areas, especially across the western Great Basin, and a drier than normal signal for most areas too. So no significant precipitation in store for us as we go into the second week of April, as we start winding down our winter precipitation season. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.